Hey everyone. Welcome to Drippy Verse. And in this video, I'm gonna quickly go over what's to come. A massive week for the market. We have to be very tactical in this week. We have to size down. We need all keep these things in mind because this will test your patience. This market will test your patience. Next week we have massive earnings, so let's look at that first. We have, where do I start? Monday. We have, Monday is kind of light, I think, but on Tuesday we have Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Microsoft, Visa, UPS, 3M, General Electric. I mean, Google, the massive one, right? So Mondelez. These are mega caps. These are big names. And then next move on to Wednesday, we have ADP, we have LRCX, the semiconductor name, BSX, the healthcare name, waste management, Boeing, Bristol Myers, Facebook, Meta, I guess these are same, Qualcomm. So these are all the names you guys know. I think like 50% of like QQQ actually is reporting earnings next week. So massive week. We have Apple on Thursday, Pfizer, Amazon, and Apple same day. And then we have TMO, Comcast. And then finally on Friday, we have energy names, ZOM, CVX, AbbVie, and gonna be a massive week for the market. So earnings, this is a big earnings week, upcoming week. So keep that in mind when if you are swinging something, expect the things to be very volatile in the market. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then when we look at the earnings, next thing, we have a lot of economic data coming soon. So we have the GDP data coming out, and then we have the FOMC meeting, I believe, next week. So gonna be a super tight week, very important week. If you want to check the earnings, reports and stuff like that, I usually use Unusual Whales to kind of quickly go over. They have the news section where I quickly go over the news and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff here actually which I intend to use in the future, but for now, this earnings. And then you can also actually go and check the flow and everything else, news, flow feed here. So I like that aspect of this tool, and it's like everything is in one place. Okay, so if you wanna sign up for this, use code Drippy2Hard, and you get the discount, and hopefully you guys like the tool as well. Apart from that, let's quickly go over SPY. Okay, all right, there I got the alert for crude oil. So let's talk about crude oil while we are at it. That just broke below the key level here, key support level. It was holding this 94, broke down. So looks like I think crude oil needs to start finding support at 90. Otherwise, things are heading down here. It's in this bearish channel here, and looks like things are not looking good so far. Would like to see it hold this area. If it goes below this 90, things can get ugly fast for crude oil, and which means that we can see some action for SPY maybe. And let's look at Dixie, the dollar index. We talked about this in the last video, that's starting to find support at this level here. This previous like the resistance area is acting as support, and let's see what it does. Dixie looks like it wants to retest the high 110, and then we'll see if it double tops, goes down. If not, then we'll see if it breaks below 105, and then 103, and then 100. Below 100, then things can get interesting for SPY and commodities. So we covered this. Let's talk about VIX as well while we're at it. VIX, now if you look at the daily chart for VIX here, we have been in this kind of like support zone logarithmic curve here. and it's right at this level now. So the question is, next week do we see a fake rally on VIX, pullback, and then finally next to next week we see a rally after the earnings report on VIX, or does it crash and actually like break out of this and finally the market starts to move up? I think this is all culminating towards the ultimate move into the next week. And after that, what happens to the market? Does VIX find support? I think next week, I think it's fair to say that VIX might be rising up. So VIX calls can work here if you don't want to avoid equities. VIX, I think, would most probably will see a volatility in the market. We're still high 23 right now. If it starts to crash below this level, below 20, things can get really, really interesting for SPY. We can see that 400 breakout, 420 level. But until then, let's not jump the gun here. We know this area has acted as support for a long time, since May 2020. So hard to break that. I doubt it will break that. Right now, macro doesn't seem to be favorable towards VIX breaking down, but let's see. We have to anticipate what's going on in the market. Now, finally, the big one, SPY. What's going on with SPY here? So these dotted lines here are the weekly expected move. So just by weekly expected move, what the options market is pricing in here, we are talking about 404.84 as right around this resistance area, and then this previous support area 385.3. This is where the market is pricing in that price could go. I mean, these are big swings here. I mean, look at this. This is 2.5% up, 2.5% up, and 2.5% down from this current price. So, I mean, we could go down and then up. So we can see massive swings in the price of SPY. What does that mean? That means we have to be careful when swinging contracts. We only swing from profits, or we gotta hedge our positions in a way that we don't ruin our account. And this week, a lot of people, I can tell you, their accounts will get blown up because they'll make the mistake of thinking that, oh, market is going to go in that direction, everything looks bearish, and next thing you know, market rips because there's uncertainty. What I'm expecting on SPY is something like this. After this big move on SPY, I think it needs some time to digest this move. So we could see retest of this daily 9 EMA and then retrace back here and then rip, or we just crash here, go down, retest the low of the SPY, which is around 362, or go even further low. And we got a hint of what's to come. On Friday, we saw some of these high beta names like Snow down 9% on the day, and then we had DocuSign. DocuSign start to show weakness as well, down 5% on the day, and we had a couple other names, high beta names, starting to show weakness in the market. We had Confluent here, which is also another 8% down. So you see the picture, but these are part of QQQ more than SPY, right? Like QQQ gets affected more. So when you look at QQQ here again, so QQQ actually retested this chop here, got rejected, and now let's see, does it find support here, comes back here, and then goes all the way to 285 or 287. We will see. Meta earnings are coming. Gap down. Meta after Snapchat reported earnings, Meta gap down, and honest volume was also more. So it was in a squeeze and everything was positive for Meta, and then next thing we know, it's back in this range now, and very high chance Meta goes back to 155 here. We'll see what happens. Meta is the name we gotta watch. And apart from that, apart from that, let's talk about a couple other things. First of all, let's look at IWM as well while we are at it. IWM, as I told in my last video, we could see breakout, and then now we are starting to see weakness in the market again. And all the breakouts on SPY so far, we have seen here this breakout on SPY right here, this one, continuation every day green, except this day, but you get the point. Same thing here, same thing here, every day green. Do we see that now here? We did break out on SPY here, this wedge here. We did break out, but guess what? Hit the gas pedal. We tried to hit the gas pedal, and then guess what? So what does that mean? That means that market needs to digest this information. Is this the end of a bear market rally? Is this actually the market is turning bullish, and this is what a normal bullish move would be like, right? Where we digest the move and then we gradually move up? Or so actually it's a confusing thing now, because we don't know if we're going to see pullback, digestion, and I think this earnings report will tell us what to do next. RSI seems to be curling down again, and RSI so far is above 50, so that's good. On a lower time frames, I mean, we still have our like QQQ daily 9 is trending up, so short term we are bullish. 50 is starting to flatten out, and SPY, so that's bullish, right? So 5 EMA is trending up, 9 EMA on daily is trending up. You see this curve up, the yellow. So what that means is that we are still in a bullish trend to the upside. Okay, and but on the higher time frames, things are different, right? So let's look at this range here, and then let's see what happens in the market really quickly. Let's go to the flow, and then I'm gonna cover the setups I'm watching. So this is SPY flow, end of date on Friday. Look at this, and these are sorted by at least minimum $100,000 orders and sorted by time. These are after hours. Look at this, 376 puts coming in hot. Boom, 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 hot, hot, hot. This is 33.7k 400 call coming in. So where the majority of orders are bearish orders, a lot of bearish orders into the close. We do have some calls as well, but if you look at the net flow here, and I disable the bid side here, so it's ask side only, you can see net flow is bearish again. So guess what the market is pricing in? Some of these are single leg orders as well. And if I do the bid side, enable it, like what that means that there might be some spreads open, again bearish, so this is just a SPY. Let's look at QQQ as well. QQQ, very similar what's going on here. Bearish sweeps coming in, bearish. So what is market trying to tell us? What is options flow trying to tell us? I mean, look at this, 83% bearish flow. And of course, we have filtered here more than, so these are whales, right? 100,000 plus orders are whales. So what is market trying to tell us? And then when I disable this, now you can see that suddenly that we have 80% bullish flow. And this is because we had this, like when you sort it by the premium here, there are some orders which is assuming that these are sold puts and these are massive orders. But I don't really trust this because although these are floor orders, these could just be roll ups, right, or roll downs. So for QQQ, we still have to see what's going on, right? And then IWM is the another one. When you look at IWM here again, so when you disable the bids here, you can see on the ask side a lot of bearish flow. But when you enable the bid, that means sold side, so selling puts as well. So you can see kind of like they're actually opening spreads in a way that 171 put is being bought, selling further output, and net flow is the one which is interesting, is 60% bearish again. So all three are kind of hinting towards a bearish kind of flow. And HYG, the high yield corporate bond, again, all four are kind of, the flow is bearish, but maybe they're building size and scaling into their puts. This is a decent spot for shorts. So we'll see what happens. Earnings is the one we'll have to see. So what I noticed when I look at the flow here is that consumer cyclicals are the ones which are getting hit by a lot of puts. What do I mean by that? Look at Amazon earnings coming soon, right? So Amazon is getting bearish flow, starting to get bearish flow. We'll see more as days progress here and we get more data, but Amazon starting to look bearish, right? On the bid side, if you do, I mean, we still have calls here, of course, but these were during market open and things suddenly started to change and flow start turned bearish into the close. So a couple other names in this is Nike, for example. And for Nike, when you look here, and again, bearish flow, they're buying time, but these are bearish orders. And then let's look at another one here. Another one is Ralph Lauren, right? Another one, RL. Look at this order on RL here, around 10 o'clock, 90 puts. The stock is a 98, almost $1 million order here. 420K, 645K, right? By the same party. So Ralph Lauren, bearish. Let's look at Nordstrom, JWN. Bearish. 23 puts being loaded here. Big orders here, not small orders. These are 250K plus orders here. And these are 26 days to expiration. So bearish. JWN, Ralph Lauren, Amazon, Nike. Let's look at Lulu. Right, bearish. So there's a theme in the market now. Consumer cyclicals are getting hit right now by these bearish flow. So market is hinting that maybe the retail data will be weak. The retailers might not have bought that much, into these, like luxury names. Maybe that's what my thesis was anyway, long time back. But market ripped from there. So now I'm starting to see that it's coming towards the earning we are starting to see. So let's look at their charts as well. Lulu got rejection right at the supply area here. Nike got rejection right at the supply area here. JWN, nasty rejection and a gap here as well. And a big supply area as well. Double supply, double whammy here. So again, got rejected. Ralph Lauren got rejected the other day, but I mean, most stocks got rejected. We cannot just, this trend is still to the upside, right? But you can see the trend here. It comes up and then goes down. So what's market trying to tell us is that maybe the earnings for Amazon will be weak, and maybe they're anticipating, maybe these are hedges, but either way, these are the ones to play for the downside. So I'm looking at particularly JWN, big mover, moves up and down a lot. Then we have Lulu, massive moves on Lulu as well. If the volume comes in, it can gap down. So names like this, I'm watching Nike and stuff like that. So other names I'm watching apart from this is China names. So look at this distribution happening on Lee here. Massive red volume bars while in consolidation zone, small green bars, and then finally it broke down. And 4 hour squeeze broke to the downside here on Lee Auto, and I mean, this has a lot of room to go down. So this one is to watch. I'm watching Lee as well as Neo. Now these are interesting because Neo also actually broke the trend line and consolidation zone. But when you look at the flow for Neo, it's interesting because there's a lot of buyers and call buying going on Neo as well. When you sort it by the premium here, you can see there's a lot of call buying going on Neo, and this was after hours as well. So mixed flow. So let's look at the price action and see what's going on. Same thing with Lee. Lee actually had a bearish flow, but not a big order here. So again, we got to watch the price action. Let's talk about Baba, very similar, right? But Baba also has bullish flow. So very confusing, very, very confusing. I don't know what's going on, but Baba actually broke down as well. Maybe they are trying to buying the dip here on Baba. Baba actually broke down. Maybe they're trying to think that this demand zone is going to bounce from here, right? And $100 has always been a critical level for Baba. So we might see accumulation here, but the volume is starting to show like distribution signals here. So flow is kind of bullish, but then chart looks absolutely terrible here for long. So we're going to wait and see what happens. We play the price action. And a couple other names I'm watching in top of my list is PFE. So Pfizer actually, so this is daily 200 EMA here on Pfizer, it's above the daily 59. So it consolidated right here, and now it's above all of them. So Pfizer is looking good actually for a long side. I was thinking maybe it will break down, but it didn't. It actually came up, and now it's starting to look good here. So anything above 51.5, this can make a big move to 52.33, and then maybe test 53 level. So we'll watch Pfizer this week. Earnings are coming soon. Monkeypox is in name. Monkeypox is in news. So let's watch this name. Pfizer looks good. There's Catalyst earnings. So apart from that, I'm watching is Cigna. So very beautiful chart on Cigna as well here. When you look at the lower time frames on Cigna here, we have a pennant here, and it was consolidating here, and then finally broke out of this range here. If it goes back down, I mean, what is the risk here? 266 267.5 is the risk, and reward is huge reward here. And let's look at the flow for Cigna as well. While we are at it, let's look at Cigna flow. Bullish orders here, right? In the money calls and out of money calls for Cigna, and decent size orders, and I like that. So Cigna, and then Pfizer. Let's look at Pfizer as well. Kind of mixed flow, some bullish, some bearish. We'll have to see the price action. So my three names which I'm watching on top, is like Cigna Health, and then Lee, and then Neo. So same theme here, and then Pfizer Healthcare, and then of course the ones which I told you, right? The JWN, the Amazon, the Nike, and stuff like that. And finally, least but last but not the least here, some other names to watch are these fertilizers name, MOS, CF looks like a decent short here. And if you look at the daily chart for CF, I mean, it looks really beautiful short actually. Right here in this range here, a lot of room to go to the downside. And with the Russia, like the sanction news and stuff like that, you can read the news. And there's a lot of news here with respect to insider sell as well. So it's a decent short. So these are longer term plays. Like you can just buy and forget about them. Like maybe buy some time, maybe 3-4 months out, short puts, and forget about them. Earnings are coming soon. Always be careful with this. But so in overall, these are the names I'm watching. SPY, remember, massive moves expected in SPY. Be careful. Protect the capital. Don't swing without like hedging your positions, or swing risk only. This is not the time to play with your money in the market. And avoid the lottos too, because most of these premiums will burn, right? It's better to play in the next day IV crush. And hopefully you guys have a great week ahead. And those who are in the Discord, I'll share my additional watch list, a couple other names, very beautiful setups, which I didn't cover in this video, but I'll share it with you guys. So if viewers are interested in joining the Discord, the link is down below, and it's pretty cheap. I think one of the most affordable Discord for the amount of content I put out and amount of voice and live recording. Every day we have live trading, almost 8 hours a day. And it's a fun place. A lot of cool traders, community is awesome. We have some amazing indicators coming out soon, and bunch of other stuff. So anyway, have a great week ahead, and I will catch up with you guys later. Ciao.